You are watching SHOUTcraft, exciting entry-level esports commentary with myself, TotalBiscuit.
And here we go with a very dire situation here for Socke, currently down 2-1. He needs to win this here on Kawaiirice Plateau in order to stay in this matchup. Socke is spawning at the upper right position, again, as blue Protoss and as yellow Terran here in the lower left. We have Fate of 7, also known as Kawaiirice. And this is one of the newer maps in the map pool. Are you familiar with this map very much?
I have seen it played, honestly, and actually, I think it was used an awful lot during the DreamHack tournament. So, yeah, I have seen it. It's quite a nice map, and I'm honestly, though, a little bit sick of it, to be fair. It's not a particularly nice-looking map. It's a little bit bland, I feel. I never was big in for the sort of bluey stone that they've got going on here. I'm thinking hiring some kind of interior decorator. Perhaps Demaga could come and do it. He's very good at spreading creep all over the place. That would make it look much nicer.
It is impressive to see Demaga on this map, though. I remember Demaga was really one of the first players I saw hugely utilize creep spread. And it was actually in a match that I think Demaga was in that I saw one of the most interesting tricks I've ever seen in this game. And it can only be done on this map at these obelisks that exist north of or in some of the players' bases. You can usually hide one unit behind that. I've seen a single probe hidden behind these obelisks in order to put down a proxy pylon late in the game. It's pretty interesting if one's not very good with their mini-map awareness to deal with if you hide a unit back there.
Sneaky stuff, there's no doubt about that. Socke wants to have a look around and see what he can see. What's he going to find? Well, he's going to find a Fate of 7 here with the barracks coming up, looking for... it's a semi-wall off at the moment. He might decide to wall off maybe with a factory, make it a little bit safe for him.
Single scout heading to the upper left position here by Socke. He has a single probe up there. Already sees him running away. He needs to find out where his opponent is as quickly as possible. Not so much scouting so far by Kawaiirice. He is finally sending out a single SCV, but these two units are going to see each other, and it looks like Socke's going to have the information earlier.
Oh, yes, indeed. And Socke's going to... Oh, he could have slid past right there. Could have slid past. It just didn't happen. Socke's going to be kicking himself over that one.
Just out of range of that Marine. That Marine only needed one more volley to take out that probe. Some very nice micro there by Kawaiirice, but he was unable to take out that probe at the end, who will now be taking the southern Zalnaga Tower, or not.
He's going to have a look, see what he can see. Socke is building the Socke build, I suppose. Yes,
Warp
the chill
gate
build.
now on the way. Chrono boosting out of Stalker. He's done this every game.
Indeed. Socke's not so much a fan of the build order as the chilled order.
I do want to chill with Socke. It just sounds like a good afternoon.
Yeah, indeed.
Hey, I'm gonna go chill with Socke. Oh, you're chilling with Socke? I want to come chill with Socke.
Well, you cannot chill with Socke. And then you are sad.
And here we go with a single SCV making his way back home. Not all that much from either player thus far. Single Stalker starting to make his way out onto the map, it looks like. Don't know where he's heading.
Socke's probe doing a little bit of a dance right there. Either that or he's just confused. He might have lost his bearings.
Currently, that
question is, what has he got coming up?
Kawaiirice has been building up a bunker at the top of his ramp. He's done this pretty much as a staple of all of his games thus far.
Yeah, if you look at what's coming out right here from Kawaiirice, he does have a starport coming up. Tech Lab looking for a swapper right here between the factory and the starport. So we could see that early Raven once again, though it hasn't really done too much thus far. He might decide to go for Banshee pressure instead, and he does have the resources for it, and that's exactly what he's going to do right now.
I like that. Banshees have been a core part of his gameplay all day. Kawaiirice has used those Banshees very well to get early pressure. If he gets those Banshees on this map, just to be able to fly straight into his base, possibly get some harassment on the mineral line, that could really seal the match for him early on once he gets two on the field. He now is also researching Cloak pretty early on. I like this, and Marines just took a free kill.
You got to be careful with that Cloak, though. We've seen Socke take him to the cleaners because of that early investment. The thing is, Socke's also going straight into robotics facility, so that Cloak's actually going to be rendered pretty much useless if he pops an observer out there, and I'm sure he will straight away. It's a pretty standard Protoss technique.
Second Nexus is down at the natural expansion of Socke. Just dropped a pylon in to be able to warp in some backup at some point, it looks like. Maynard transfer has just completed. Nice number of probes making their way down to this mineral line. And a small army now forming at the top of the second ramp here. A pair of sentries, of course, ready to drop those shields should he need them for defense.
Indeed, it's a good line, honestly. Socke's got good defense right here, and I think that counter action to the Banshees could be potentially devastating. You'll see the flanking maneuver right here at the top of the map, and here comes the first Banshee. The cloak is going to be up just as it lands. It's a nice little bit of timing right there, and he's also saving up his energy, of course, so he'll be able to maintain that cloak for quite some time. Robotics facility up, 3 gateways straight into Colossus coming up right here for Socke, and here's the harassment at the rear. Nothing to defend right now. Socke definitely moves away very rapidly, but he's losing one, not 2, but 3 probes by the looks of it. No, that one gets away, and he's feeling a little bit lucky there. There's the cloak, and down straight away to the natural expansion for yet more harassment.
Oh, wow. This Banshee is going to be able to do an absolutely massive amount of damage. He's done some chip damage to a few of these probes. Hasn't quite taken them out. Here we go. Already up to a 6 kill count and all the way up to 7 now. Warping in some units. He does not have that observer on the field. There it is, finally.
No.
Coming in over those stalkers. Going to stick with those stalkers, the only anti-air units he currently has.
Yeah, the thing is, though, you see at the top of the map, it was a trick. It was a ruse, ladies and gentlemen, because here we go. Kawaiirice applying yet more pressure to the primary mineral line of Socke, and that observer can only be in one place at a time. Look at this. It's a 1-2 punch right here. Drives him all the way over there. The observer is keeping track of that one, but the mineral line of the natural expansion is absolutely devastated.
Yes, and this constant pressure has pretty much, it looks like, already put the momentum of the match so heavily in Kawaiirice's favor. I don't know how Socke's going to be able to counter at this point. We have 2 more barracks on the way in the main of Kawaiirice. He has a floated command center waiting to float down, and the pressure continues.
No doubt about that. The Terran love machine is rolling, and honestly, I don't think Socke's going to be able to repulse this, particularly with the amount of damage he's taken to his economy right now. There's no way now with that robotics bay he can even consider pumping out Colossi. He's looking to be relying on gateway units, and he's just spent an awful lot to tech up that quickly. This build has been basically neutered for the time being.
Don't really like the choice to go immediately into Colossi. It doesn't make sense. You are dealing with Banshees. Why are you going into Colossi? You need a stronger anti-air force right now.
Well, I mean, honestly, Kawaiirice has been relying quite a lot on Marines and does a good job with them. The thing is that, yeah, the Colossi is a absolutely fantastic counter to Marines, but bear in mind the numbers that you're going up against here. And it's not just that. He has 4 Banshees and 3 siege tanks available, so that single Colossi isn't going to do much, and that was a big investment of resources that could have been spent on gateway units.
Indeed, Colossus is now onto the field. It does not have the thermal lances upgrade. Second observer on its way onto the map. Might even be a third. Let's take a look on the map. It is a second observer. I'm sorry. No, it is a third observer that has just made its way onto the map.
It's paranoia, honestly. And do you blame him? Do you blame him because of the amount of damage that was done there? This is mind games, ladies and gentlemen, from Kawaiirice. He's forced his opponent to waste a lot of resources on observers. And look at that. It looks like he's trying to get out of the way. It's a scout, though. Socke sees Kawaiirice's force advancing. But what is he going to do about it?
Let's see. He's got a small defensive force here at the top of the ramp and a single Colossus waiting to come in.
Oh, that ain't gonna last.
I don't really think it's going to be enough. Don't really think
I don't know. I mean, he's bringing in a lot of stalkers from the base, warping in some additional zealots, looking to make his last stand right here. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I think he'll repulse this, actually, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. Those cloaked Banshees reaping a terrible toll on the stalkers, though, but look at how much damage the Colossi is doing. All of those infantry sliced into tiny little pieces. They are fricassee, ladies and gentlemen, but he might lose the Colossi here as well.
Yes, those Banshees are fine.
Down
There's no anti-air left. A small handful of Marines still doing some harassment without that Colossus. I don't know how he's really going to be able to deal with a ground force. Zealots are doing a nice job, though, and in come some stalkers to try to do some damage, but those Banshees are just too high in number.
Too much firepower. Far too much firepower. The cloaking energy's almost run out, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. Kawaiirice retreating to a safe distance, and once again, Socke taking huge economic damage. He's getting pummeled right here. He's going to have to do something to pull it out of the bag, and honestly, I just don't see what he can do. He's running up against a nasty Terran war machine that is more than capable of dealing with it, and indeed, he even has a strike force of Marines sitting in a medevac heading to the top of the map right now.
I really like this move. Just look at the build order of both players right now. What's in their build queue? Right now, the army just continues to come out for Kawaiirice now. Has another siege tank on the way. He's building up another command center. There is only a Templar Archives and 2 probes. I'm sorry, Twilight Council on the way for Socke. Socke is so far behind right now. The only thing that can really save him is if for some reason Kawaiirice decides to sit on his hands for a little bit.
Indeed, there's no question. And do you think Kawaiirice is going to sit on his hands for a little bit?
No, considering he's now moving out with a force of 5 Banshees backed up by 3 siege tanks and a small handful of Marines. It's essentially the same force he used, plus a pair of Marauders, and there's no
drop at the back right there. There's a lot of damage coming in. Once again, that economic damage is huge, being inflicted there by just a simple squad of Marines takes its toll and reaps a horrible, horrible massacre in the middle line. Yes, they sacrificed themselves, but it was certainly worth it because, wow, the economy of Socke is absolutely trounced. There's no question about that. He's way behind his opponent, and we're looking just now for Kawaiirice to deliver the hammer blow.
Another Colossus on the way. I cannot agree with this. Far too many minerals being spent on one unit than many more units that you could warp in.
It's definitely not going to work out so well this time because Kawaiirice has gone more for the mechanized than air, which is going to counter that very, very well. Templar Archives is on its way for Socke, but really, is he going to be able to do anything with that? Kawaiirice preparing to attack, and he's got the forces for it. All he needs to do is just move in and end it. Look at that Banshee. Look at how many he's got. He's sitting on 6 of them. That force is going to get absolutely annihilated, and we're just waiting for it to happen. Picking off a couple of buildings at the top right there just before he goes in.
Nice move, pushing forward with those Banshees, getting as much early damage as he can, and he's already forced his opponent into a retreat before they ever even met on the battlefield, bringing back all of these Stalkers into his main. That one Colossus warping in some Templar, actually. Templar could be a big difference maker here. 3 warped in, but do they have Storm? Yes. No, they don't.
Nope, they don't have it. All they've got is feedback, which will be helpful against the Banshees, but not so much against anything else. Let's be honest here. The siege tanks are rolling in, and are they even going to get anything? They did a little bit of damage to the Banshees, but that's it. That's all they could do. You're certainly not going to be getting any Archons right there.
Continuing the pressure here, trying to focus fire on all these Banshees. That looks like it's going to be it. GG from Socke. Huge win there for Kawaiirice, who now makes the matchup 3 for Europe and 2 for North America.
Indeed, he takes it, and it was a strong, strong display there from Kawaiirice. He was able to take the momentum very early on and continue the pressure. That economic harassment in the last game was stellar. Every single one carefully considered and very, very deftly executed indeed. So congratulations to him.